I hope that's not for me. Alright guys, we are moments away from hopefully picking up a new V-Rod here. I've been talking to this guy for only a couple days. He wants $6,500 for it. I'm gonna see what we can negotiate him down to. It's a 03, it's got like 20,000 miles on it, but wish me luck. We rolled up to the guy's house. It was a little bit difficult to find. He comes rolling down a gravel road on this V-Rod, and let me tell you guys, the bike looked better than I could have ever imagined. I mean, it looked, for a 2003, it looked perfect. And I've never seen one of these like all chromed out / stainless steel looking V-Rods before. One of the coolest looking bikes I've ever seen. So I think it was actually his wife's V-Rod. And as far as I know, it was one of her first bikes, which is absolutely crazy to me. And I tell you, these bikes are one of the best deals you can get on a properly nice, properly fast cruiser right now. While we're leaving, we're not even 10 miles from the place and we're getting pulled over. We were supposedly doing 20 over and the cop actually let us off with a warning. So that was great. Okay, here we have the bike. Let's go for a ride, but first, I'm sure you guys want to see this. Let's do a real world 0 to 60 with an average rider and see what I hit. I will do that now. This is the real world 0 to 60 in my opinion on the V-Rod. You know, this is probably what you're going to see with your sort of average rider, average bike, average conditions. This is not a real road, this is like a parking lot. And I've actually had the police talk to me and they said it's fine to do this, just make sure there's nobody around and that I'm not being obnoxious. So anyway, all right, let's see what we can do here. Okay, I just kind of pull up to the line here. Here we go. Okay, so I'm gonna give you one more. I actually shifted there. And I don't think I need to shift. So I don't know what that was. You know, obviously I'll throw it up on the screen. But that was perfectly at 60 as soon as it hit the rev limiter. So I don't think I can get any better than that. Average rider, average conditions. Maybe if I went and did this 100 times, I could get a better time for sure. But that's what you're going to see as far as stoplight to stoplight performance. Not that I recommend street racing on YouTube, but that's what you're going to see. All right, thanks. Back to the video. Hopefully I did pretty good. So yeah, you put the key in the side right here, turn her to ignition. I'm on my way to Doc's Harley Davidson, by the way, pick up some spark plugs and some brake pads, because it needs brake pads. It's got about 30,000 miles on it, or 20,000, sorry. And then, oops, that's the blinker. Still got to get used to that. Fires right up. All right, quick prayer. Dear Lord, I pray that you keep me safe, alive, focused, healthy, protected on this motorcycle ride today. I pray that you keep me out of harm's way. In your name I pray, Lord, amen. So, you know, I've ridden this cruiser a bit. My initial impressions on it, though, is this thing is super maneuverable. And quite honestly, it doesn't really feel like a cruiser. If it had mids, which some V-Rods actually do, it'd be totally different. But just because of how nimble it is and the power and kind of like the lack of dashboard in front of you, it doesn't feel like a cruiser. Woo! First gear is pretty short. It'll sneak up on you and hit the rev limiter. And this thing, when it hits the rev limiter, it hits it hard, man. It is not a soft rev limit. It's a dot, 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 very slow, like an old school car or something, old school V8. It hits it hard. But second gear is phenomenal, and it feels like it goes forever. Now, this probably isn't your first V-Rod video if you're watching this, But as many people tell you, the power doesn't really start until you hit that 7 number. Yes, it'll put you back in your seat even at 3, 4, especially if you're used to like, you know, inline 4s or something that really need to wrap out. This still makes plenty of torque for the street at the lower RPMs, but you get like the crazy fast power when you hit like 6 or 7 grand. And the sound is just, oh my gosh, dude. This has the Screaming Eagle pipes on it. The previous owner said it doesn't have a tune. It seems like it runs fine. I know there's some worries about it being lean, but it doesn't feel lean to me. I mean, it really feels like it's running good. It's just such a hot rod sound, you know? There are other cruisers that are faster than this, and certainly other kind of bikes, but man, they really nailed it with the sound on this bike for sure. Oh, we got a tunnel coming up. That guy looked over. Oh man, but it just sounds incredible. This thing weighs, somehow they made this bike weigh almost 700 pounds, which I don't know how Harley Davidson did that. It's almost impressive. But it doesn't feel like it. It's quite light and nimble feeling. It's one of those bikes, you know, you let go of the handlebars and you can just totally direct the whole thing with your body. So it doesn't feel like my Indian Dark Horse, which weighs close to, I hope that's not for me. Pull over for him. I was like, I wasn't even doing anything wrong. Anyway, it's not like my Indian Dark Horse, which weighs close to 700 pounds. It feels like a completely different bike than that. You know, that bike, if you turn on the cruise and let go of the handlebars, it just feels like it's hard to lean it. You really have to put your whole body into it. So we're about to get on the highway, and you know, I've really only been saying good things about this bike. I'll give you a few gripes, because, you know, I want this to be an honest review. I don't want you to think I'm biased just because I spent my own money on this. So, oh, that D-cell, listen. Ooh, you can just feel it in your soul. So yeah, there's one major gripe, and that is, at least on this one in particular, and I don't know, guys, if these are stock pegs or not, but on this one in particular, these are the most idiotic pegs that I have ever witnessed on any motorcycle. And I've owned 10 bikes now, and I've probably ridden, I don't know, 50, and these pegs are so bad. And it's because it has these little rubber things in there, if you can see I'm touching with my foot, and they actually rotate. So you have to physically hold your leg up on these pegs, and it's subconscious, you don't even realize you're doing it, but after a while you do realize it, especially when you've been on the highway, and your legs will be absolutely on fire. These pegs are horrible, and they're kind of in an awkward position. Like I said, I feel like they should probably be mids, but I gotta change those pegs out, man. They are terrible. Another gripe is this thing eats gas like it's nobody's business, dude. The official MPG on this, if you go on Fuelie, says like 37 to 45, but I think that's if you have self-control. See, that's the problem. I don't have that. So that's another gripe. The gas mileage is abysmal. Also, the aero. They've designed this bike in such a way that it seems like it actually redirects the air into you more than just being out in the wind. I don't know how they did it, but yeah, it's quite windy. I feel like I'm in a hurricane right now, and I'm only going 70. Other than that, you know, I don't have a whole lot of gripes for it. My girlfriend does not like it, which usually means it's a fun bike. The headlight on it's not the greatest. You know what's ironic too is that Porsche helped design this motor. So technically, in a lot of ways, we're both driving a Porsche. Yep, there's another Harley. There's another V-Rod right there. It really makes good torque in almost any gear. You know, here's the thing, guys. There are faster bikes than this for cheaper. Well, maybe not cheaper, actually. V-Rods are incredibly cheap right now. Say an R6, right? You could take an R6 and absolutely brutalize a V-Rod in every way, shape, and form. But I would rather have the V-Rod on the street because the power band, you know, from pulling away from stoplights, from doing this, from being in a little bit of higher gear, it's so much more torquey and more usable that it makes it a lot more fun. Yes, if we were on the highway and did a roll and raced to 120 miles an hour, the R6 would absolutely destroy me. But from a stoplight, you know, I might have a chance at beating it. And I guess the main point I'm trying to make is not even that. The main point is that, you know, you don't have to break the you-know-what out of the law to enjoy the power of a V-Rod, right? Even if the power is only 65% as much, or let's say the power to weight ratio, you can enjoy the power basically anywhere and get that good sound and everything. You don't have to take it to 10K RPMs screaming at least 80 miles an hour is what I'm trying to say. I mean, wow. Just like that, 80, you know, that's crazy. Whatever, if you want to report me for that, half these people out here right now are going 80, so do your worst. But it's a great motor, man. It's a great motor. That is the best part of this bike. Imagine if one of those just flew off and smoked me, and that's how I died. I got hit by a porta potty. That would be a way to go, man. Just got murked by a porta potty on the highway at 60 miles an hour. I hope you're liking the motorcycle content. I'll see you in the next one. Have a great weekend, or Monday, or whatever it is for you when you watch this, and goodbye.